Hi there. Before we begin, kindly subscribe to my channel, like the video and share it with your friends. Today we are going to solve Cambridge IGCSE Mathematics Paper 4 Extended, Variant 4 June 2017. Question number 1. This is a ratio question. A. Annie and Dermot share $600 and the ratio 11:9. Show that Annie receives $330. In a question like this, first see which is Annie and which is Dermot. So Annie is 11. And then you add the different parts together. 11 plus 9, 20. 11 out of 20 parts is Annie's. Multiply it by 600 and you will get $330. Find the amount that Dermot receives. You can either subtract from 600 330, you will get the answer, or you can do 9/20, multiply by 600. $270. B1. Annie invests $330 at a rate of 1.5% per year compound interest. Calculate the amount that she receives after 8 years. To find the compound interest, we use the formula P bracket 1 plus R over 100 to the power of n. P is the principal or your starting amount, R is the rate of interest, and n is the number of years. From our question, we know that P is 330, R is 1.5, and the number of years is 8. So amount is equal to 330 1 plus 1.5 over 100 to the power of 8. We will get 371.7. But we want the answer to the nearest dollar, so it will be $372. Next question. Find the amount of interest that Annie has after the 8 years as a percentage of 330. The answer you found here is the whole amount, not the interest. To find the interest from the amount, you have to minus the principal. This will give you the interest. What is our amount? 372, and our principal was 330. When you subtract it, you will get your interest, which is 42. That we have to write it as a percentage of 330. So 42 divided by 330 multiplied by 100. And this will give us 12.7%. Part C. Dermot has $70 to spend. He spends 24.75 on a shirt. C1. Find 24.75 as a fraction of 70. So we will write 24.75 divided by 70 or over 70. We just have to put it in the calculator and you will get the answer, 99/280. That's your lowest term. Next, the 24.75 is the sale price after reducing the original price by 10%. Because it is reducing, we will subtract from 100 10. If it was increasing, add 10. And the answer is 90. Whatever answer you get, divide by 100. So 0.9. The original price multiplied by this multiplier gives us the new price, which is 24.75. This is a multiply. When I bring to the other side, it will be a divide. So original price is equal to 24.75 divided by 0.9, and that is $27.50. D. After 1 year, the value of Annie's car has reduced by 20%, and the second year it reduced further by 15% of its value at the end of the first year. Calculate the overall reduction after the 2 years. To find the first reduction, which is 20%, we can use the formula 1 minus R over 100. Let the value of the car be x. So we replace the r by 20 and we will get 0.8x. The other way to do this reduction would have been 100 minus 20, which is 80, divided by 100 will give you 0.8. So x multiplied by 0.8 will give us 0.8x. So whichever way you understand, you're free to use it. Then it has been reduced by a further 15%. The car has been reduced by a further 15%. Again, you can use this method or this method. If I'm using this, 0.8x multiplied by 1 minus 15 over 100, I will get 0.8x times 0.85, which will give us 0.68x. This is after the reduction. So what is the reducted price? We can find it by 1 minus 0.68. That will give us 0.32. So this is the total percentage reduction. Or if you can write it like this, 1 minus 68 over 100 will also give you 0.32. Oh, they want the percentage, so we have to multiply by 100. That is 32%. Next question. After 3 years, the overall percentage reduction in the value of any car is 40.84. Calculate the percentage reduction in the third year. So this is our value in second year, 0.68x. And we have the reduction 40.84, but this is after 3 years. And till 2 years, we have 32%. So for the third year, if we want to find, we have to subtract from 40.84 the 32%. That will give us 8.84. To find x, we will divide 8.84 by 0.68 and the answer is going to be 13. So this is the percentage reduction in the third year. Question number 2. As you can see, this is a transformation related question. Let's read the question. On the grid, draw the image of translation T after triangle T after translation by the vector 6, -5. The top number represents your x coordinate, the down number represents your y coordinate. If your x coordinate is positive, you move it to the right by that unit. If y is positive, you move up. If your x is negative, you will move to the left, and if y is negative, you will move down. So we have 6, -5. Choose a point. I'm choosing this one. Move it 6 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then move 5 downwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is this point. Now looking at this point, there are two squares here. So just draw your triangle and 4 down. So this is your answer. Next, triangle T after rotation through 90 degrees anti-clockwise with center 4 and 10. We are going to use a tracing paper to solve it. You just mark the center 4 and 10 and rotate it anti-clockwise, which is going on the left side. So this is your triangle after rotation. This is your A2. Moving on to the next question. Triangle T after enlargement with scale factor half, center 10 and 0. So first we have to mark the center 10 and 0. 10 When x is 10, y is 0. So this is your center, 10 and 0. Now we have to join all the three vertices of the triangle to the center. So this is how you join your vertices to the center. Our scale factor is half. So let's find how far the vertices from the center. Count 1 square, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. 8 multiplied by our scale factor, which is half, is 4. So find 4 squares from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the first one. Now going on to the next point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 multiplied by half is 5, and we will get 5 here. So this is the second point. The third one is from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, it's 10. 10 multiplied by half, 5. 5 is here. This is your triangle after enlargement by scale factor half. B. Describe fully the single transformation that is represented by the matrix 0, -1, -1, 0. Matrix transformation and matrix both are not part of your syllabus from this year onwards, but still, when you have the numbers here, it means it is a reflection in the line y is equal to -x. We have been given three matrices, and C1A, find Mn. So M multiplied by N. Write down the matrices, and we multiply the rows by the column. We'll write down the matrix M multiplied by N. When you're multiplying matrices, we multiply the column with the row with the column. So the first term we'll get is 2 multiplied by 2 plus 3 multiplied by 3. 2 multiplied by 2 is 4 plus 3 multiplied by 3, 9. That will give us 13. And then 2 multiplied by 2, 4. And 4 multiplied by 3, 9. Sorry, 12. And that will give us 16. So that's our M multiplied by N matrix. The second is N multiplied by P. So 2, 3 multiplied by 1, 5. Again, we are going to do the row with the column. So the first term we will get is 2 multiplied by 1, 2, 2 multiplied by 5, 10. The second 3 multiplied by 1, 3, and 3 multiplied by 5, 15. We find the inverse M. This is the M matrix. To find the inverse, we are going to use this formula. If you want to find the inverse, the first thing you need to do is find the determinant. Determinant can be found by cross multiplying these numbers and subtracting them. So 4 multiplied by 2, 8, and 2 multiplied by 3 is 6. So 8 minus 6. And then we interchange these places. So A will be replaced by D. So 2 will be replaced by 4 and 4 by 2. And we change the signs for the other two remaining terms. 1 over 8 minus 6 is half. 4, -2, -3, 2. So this is the inverse. Again, matrix has been removed from your syllabus, so we are still solving it. Part 2. Write down a product of two of the matrices M and NP which it is not possible to work out. For that, you need to know a few things. These are called rows and these are called columns. When you want to write as a matrix, we write the row multiplied by column. This is the rule we follow. When the number of columns in the first matrix equals the number of rows in the second, only then multiplication is possible. So the first matrix M can be written 2 rows and 2 columns. What about N? How many rows we have? 2 rows and how many columns? one column, and P has one row and two columns. So now we can see what we can not multiply. We can multiply by M with N and N with P. But M and N cannot be multiplied because the number of columns does not equal the number of rows. So this is your answer. Question number 3. 200 students estimate the capacity X milliliters of a cup. The results are shown in the frequency table. Calculate an estimate of the mean. To find mean, if the data is represented in a table like this, we have to find the midpoint of the class width or the interval. To do that, we add the two numbers, so 0 plus 100 and then divided by 2. So 0 plus 100 divided by 2 is 50. That is our midpoint. You have to find the midpoint of all the numbers. This will be 125, 175, and the way is same. 150 plus 200 divided by 2. 200 plus 250 divided by 2, and 250 plus 400 divided by 2. After that, we multiply the midpoint with the frequency. So 50 multiplied by 20, 100. 125 multiplied by 55. When you multiply all the numbers, this is what you will get. 175 multiplied by 66, 225 multiplied by 35, and so on. To find the estimate of the mean, we use the formula mean is equal to the sum of the frequency multiplied by the midpoint. We found the frequency multiplied by the midpoint. We have to find the sum divided by n. N is the total frequency, which is 200. So we are just going to replace everything. Mean is equal to 100 plus 6875 plus 7875 plus 7800 divided by 200. I made a calculation mistake here. 50 multiplied by 20 is 1000. So this will give us 175.5. Complete the histogram. So these values that we have got, we have to plot the histogram. To find the frequency density, we need to use the formula. Frequency density is equal to frequency over class width. This is your frequency, and the class width is the big value here minus the lower value. So 100 minus 0, 0, 150 minus 150, so on. So let's start finding the frequency density. The first has not been given to us. The second bar has been drawn. So to find the first bar, frequency density, frequency is 20 and the class width is 100. So 0.2. Each line here represents, each two lines represents 0.1. So 0.2 is going to be here, and from 0 till, so this is your bar. This is your first bar. The second bar has already been done for you, and now the third one. To find the third one, frequency is 66 and 200 minus 150, 50. This is 1.32. 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and a little above it. We can make this here from 150 till 250. The third bar is done. Now for the fourth bar. Fourth bar, the frequency is 35 and the class width is 250 minus 200, 50. This will give us 0.7. 0.5 is here, so 0.6, 0.7 till 250. 250, this is 150 and 250. Now moving on to the fifth bar. We have frequency 24 and 150 is the class width. This will give us 0.16. So 0.16. 1 is here and 2 is here. So it's somewhere a little above this. And that's our fifth bar. So we are done drawing the histogram. B. The 200 students also estimate the mass of a small rock, and we have been given a table, and on the grid we have to draw a cumulative frequency diagram. So these are your x values and these are your y values. Here on the y-axis, each line represents 10. Each line represents 5, so 2 line represents 10. These are the values that we will get. Now to plot when x is 50. That is the on the part B. The 200 students also estimate the mass m of a small rock. The results are shown in the cumulative frequency table. The table has been given to us. This is the cumulative frequency and this is the mass in gram. So first let's check. There are 10 lines here. So each line is 5. So every 5 line will be 25, 50, 75. We just labeled the y-axis. Now when x is 50, y is 28. So this is 25 and 28 will be here somewhere. When m is 100, 64. So that's how we are going to plot all our points. Now we have to join them together to complete the diagram. This is how your cumulative frequency diagram will look like. In part 2, we have to find the 65th percentile. To find the 65th percentile, we have to find the 65 percentage of 200. 130. This is your cumulative frequency. That is here 130. We have to find the corresponding mass. If you draw the line here, you will have 170 as your answer. So the 65th percentile is 170. You can have the answer between 170 to 175. Next, the number of students who estimated more than 75 grams. 75 grams is here and the corresponding y value is 45. So 200 minus 45 will give us 155. So that is the answer. And again, you are given a range from 152 to 158. Question number 4. So we have been given the graph of f of x is equal to 2x square minus 1, already sketched. Part A of the question, use the graph to solve the equation f of x is equal to 5. This means we have to find the value of x when y is equal to 5. Y is equal to 5 here. Let's draw a line. So this is your y is equal to 5. We have to find the corresponding x value. So when y is 5, x is 1.7 and negative 1.7. So these are our two values, 1.7 and negative 1.7. B1, draw the tangent to the graph of y is equal to f of x at the point negative 1.5 and 3.5. So x is negative 1.5 and y is 3.5. That is this point here. We have to draw the tangent. So we drew the tangent at x is negative 1.5 and y is 3.5. Moving forward, Use your tangent to estimate the gradient of y is equal to f of x when x is equal to negative 1.5. To find the gradient, we use the rule y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. We need 2 points. One point was already given to us, negative 1.5 and 3.5. The other point you can see is negative 2 and 6. Now to find the gradient, we are going to subtract the 2y, so 3.5 minus 6 over negative 1.5 minus 2. And this will give us negative 5. If your answer is between negative 7 to negative 5, that will be right. Part C, g of x is equal to 2 to the power of x. The table has been given to us. We have to find the y value when x is 0. So in place of x, substitute 0 and you will get 1. Next, on the grid opposite, draw the table of y is equal to g of x. So now we'll draw the the graph. We'll draw the graph. So when x is negative 2, y is 0.25. 0.25 is going to be, each line here is 0.2, so 0.25, negative 1 is 0.5, use another color, put it somewhere here. Then when x is 0, y is 1. When x is 1, y is 2. When x is 2, y is 4. So now we'll join the points together. So this is how your g of x graph will look like. Part D, use your graph to solve the equation f of x is equal to g of x. We have to find the point of intersection and find the x coordinates. The graph meets the curve at this point and at this point, and we have to find the corresponding y value, x value, sorry. It's x is equal to negative 0.8 and the other value is x is equal to 1.4. So we found the values. Next question. D2, the inequality f of x is less than g of x. This is our g of x graph. This is our f of x graph. So f of x is less than g of x when x is between the values which we found before, negative 0.8 and 1.45. A1, write down the three values, g of negative 3, g of negative 5 and g of negative 10. It means we have to replace the x with these values. So 2 to the power of negative 3 will give us 0.125. G of negative 5 means when x is negative 5, so 2 to the power of negative 5 is 0.03125. And g of negative 10 will give us 0.000976. E2, complete the statement. As x decreases, g of x approaches the value. See, if you round it to one decimal place or whole number, even two decimal place, the answer is 0. So as x decreases, g of x approaches the value 0. Question number 5. The diagram shows a hollow cone with radius 3 and slant height 10. A1, calculate the curved surface area. The equation has already been given to us, so we just have to substitute. Area is equal to pi r L. R is the radius, which is 3, and L is your slant height, which is 10. That will give us 94.2. So this is 94.2 square centimeter, the curved surface area. Calculate the perpendicular height of the cone. This is your perpendicular height. You can see that it's a right angle triangle and 10 is your hypotenuse. Whenever you have a right angle triangle and two sides are given and you want to find the third side, we use the Pythagoras theorem, which is a square plus b square is equal to c square. This is our h height. C is your hypotenuse. In this case, 10 is our hypotenuse. So a square plus 3 square is equal to 10 square. Therefore, a is equal to square root 10 square minus 3 square. And we will get, this will give us 9.539. If we round it to 2 decimal place, we'll get 9.54. Next question, calculate the volume of the cone. The formula has already been given and we have everything. So it's very easy. Volume is equal to 1/3 pi multiplied by r square, which is 3, and the height, which is 9.54. And we will get 89.9 cubic centimeter. Part B. The cone is cut along the line OP and is opened out into a sector as shown in the diagram. Calculate the sector angle X. So this is the rule for area of sector, theta over 360 pi r square. Theta is the angle, and so let's write down x over 360 multiplied by pi multiplied by r. R is 10. See, this is O and P. It was cut from P, right? So this is 10. 10 square. We have already found the area of the curved surface area, which was 94.2. So this we will make it equal to 94.2, and we have to find x, so we'll move everything to the other side. 94.2 multiplied by 360. This denominator number will go up and pi multiplied by 10 square will go down. That will give us our x. Therefore, x is equal to 107.9 degrees. Question number C. The diagram shows the same sector as in part B. Calculate the area of the shaded segment. From the previous diagram, we know that the radius is 10 centimeter and the angle is 107.9. And the area of the segment is 94.2. To find the shaded segment, area of the shaded segment, we have to find the area of the sector and subtract the area of the triangle. Area of the triangle can be found by using the formula half AB sine C. Because it is not a right angle, this is the formula that we will use. A and B are the sides and C is the included angle. So here we will write area of sector 94.2 minus half times AB, which is our sides 10 times 10, times sine 107.9. And this will give us 46.6 square centimeter. This brings us to the end of this tutorial. Kindly watch part 2 for question number 6 onwards solutions.